All right, we back. So where I left off at, all right, Mcternan. He testifying. You see me going back with her. Basically, all right through the mirror. Camera 12, I want you to look and see same figure, Mr. Harvey, that you saw in camera live. I will pause it and put it in slow motion. Mr. Harvey here with what appears to be a handgun going into his waistband. The bandana is still over his face, top of the bridge of his nose. He is going to start to bring it down over his chin, still pulling it off screen. I want to show you the still photograph. This is Commonwealth 17. Orient yourselves with camera 12 dance floor. Show the ladies and gentlemen of the jury exactly what is occurring. Mr. Harvey here, at this point, the bandana is still over his face, top of the bridge of his nose area, and his other hand is going towards his waistband. You can see the black object. So you can see a black object. So how the fuck she say I walk up to him with a gun in my hand, shoot him. The gun was 6 inches to a foot from his body, but she couldn't see what color it was. Like, that don't make no sense. If this police looking at the video and saying you can see a black object, she couldn't even tell you that because the bitch was lying. She didn't see none of this. You know what I'm saying? She didn't want to see a color and it was another color. She probably ain't realized her dumb ass. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I'm scrapped. Of course, I'm not denying it. You know what I'm saying? All right. Putting the tool up, which, like I said,
you scrap. Yeah, we from Richmond.
You know what I'm saying? But that's what I'm saying. They don't understand that. I'm in an environment. He get killed over here. I'm over here. When I come exiting these steps right here, where you can see me on camera 12 exiting these steps, not even 10 seconds after he gets shot way over there. This dance floor is so fucking congested. When she said you couldn't see space between, that's a fucking lie. You couldn't even breathe in that bitch. You know what I'm saying? There's nowhere in here. I'm going to shoot him over here and get through that thick-ass crowd in 9 seconds to be exiting right here and not track through none of that blood. Not only that, yeah, I'm putting the gun up. You see me, that bandana was already on my face. As she tried to lie, so I tied it on my face, walking down these steps, walking towards him. That was a lie. It was already on my face. And witnesses can verify that. You know what I'm saying? My lawyer just ain't contacting none of them, and I gave him plenty of people to contact. But like I said, when I'm walking up them steps, I'm running up them steps with the crowd. Yeah, I'm not running out no fucking club door with no bandana on my face to get killed by no police with a gun in my hand. Of course, which I just showed cuz in these still photos, and the detective even testified. This is photos. I'm going to show you what they saying, me running and all that shit. Everything they talking about, dog. These the videos they showing, but my lawyer, when he printed them off the DVD, like, that's me on the dance floor. That's fuckboy with my hand around. You know what I'm saying? I'm hollering at him. Bandana around my neck, hoodie on. Victim not in the club. You know what I'm saying? Victim not in the club. That's me coming out the door, running with the crowd. They basically said everybody in this crowd with me because this nigga running out the door behind me. He's not with me. You know what I'm saying? That's me coming in the club. I even got a bandana hanging out my left pocket. You know what it is, cook? You know what I'm saying?
Hold on, you need to show the jank where the nigga.
I'm ready to show that. I gotta get. I already got that one. I got that one. I gotta get to the point with me. All right, see, this me exiting out. Same movement I'm doing is another person right here behind me, hand in his waist. He's coming off the dance floor after me. You know what I'm saying? Hand in his waist. He doing the same movement. This me coming off the dance floor. Black object. You know what I'm saying? Man's in my waist. The bandana just already on my face. That's the dance floor. He get killed way back there somewhere. This is 105 and 9 seconds after the shooting happened. The shooting started at 105. You can't see the seconds in here when he printed it off, but it's 9 seconds after the crowd, the shooting. I'm already over here. It's nowhere in here is impossible. It took her 30, 40 some seconds just to come back onto this camera. And she said she just ran up the steps that's right there and came right back. Yeah, I'm pulling the bandana off my face, running out the front door. I'm not ready to run out that bitch and get killed, man. What the fuck is wrong with y'all? I'm from the hood. Like, I know how this shit go out. I know how this shit play out. Everybody running, ducking, doing the same fucking shit. But that's the thing. They didn't look through this camera to see what nobody else was doing. Now, the angle, the steps she said I walked down is over here. That's the only blind spot. There's another VIP section over there. That's the mirror in that VIP section.
Your hand, look how many people in that motherfucker.
Man, and this after half, like, this everybody running. You know what I'm saying? Like, but this shit fucked up. But when you look in those cameras, you see this about to angle me. This after the jank coming. This the nigga that's coming out. And you can see his hand motion is up high. When I showed you the last picture, it's hanging down in his waist. But they ain't looking to see what nobody else was doing. You know what I'm saying? It's plenty of tools in this motherfucker, dog. Like, yeah, nigga scrapped in that bitch. This the cue. You know what I'm saying? Nigga, come on, Shaw. Like, niggas know what the fuck going on, Shaw. Nah, God won't hear this night. This was just,
Oh, this nigga
This
performing
was
and
the
shit.
Southside reunion, little Charlotte little birthday event they do every year.
Ain't no
But
way
man,
you
it was
going to Southside
YM.
reunion
It was
without
YM,
no
you know what I'm saying, album release party. That's me. That's a better view from the other camera, me coming along with. Hand down to my waist, it's the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Bandana on my face. Niggas scrapped in that bitch, y'all. Alright, so what that I was scrapped? The fact that I had a gun don't mean that I killed no fucking body, dog. And that's what they did. But that's only after somebody lied and said my name. If she never says my name and lied the way she did, then even if you go through this video and look through all the raw footage looking for random people, you're gonna come into contact with so many people with suspicious activity or with guns in their hand that you ain't gonna never be able to say what. You feel me? Like these motherfuckers just use that. And look, you see niggas falling and everything. Niggas getting up out of there. Look at Charlotte. She crawling through the crowd. Yo, daddy, I've been shot 7 times before, my nigga. I'm not going for that bullshit. Niggas start busting in that bitch. Yeah, I whipped out. I'm making sure a nigga ain't trying to kill me. And got the fuck up out that motherfucker quick as a bitch. Like, I ain't shooting nobody. I got locked up in the same clothes the next morning. No gunpowder residue. Tell them test me for this shit. Give them DNA sample. I did everything that I normally wouldn't have did if I did something. Talk to the police for one on. Waive my rights to attorney. You see, I had 177 pistol involvements. I've been having deals with the police, and never have I sat down and conversated with them people. Told them I'd take a polygraph and everything. I'm super good in this one. All the everything, I'm chilling. I'm laughing like, man, there's nowhere in hell somebody tell you I shot somebody when I know for a fact I didn't shoot nobody. Then the type of gun they saying this nigga got shot with, I didn't even have that caliber of a fucking gun. Like, this shit is a full fucking lie, dog. But they don't care. They don't care. They don't care. Then it comes out after he get killed. You know what I'm saying? He goddamn killed that white man in the car with his kids. Killed May with the same gun. This motherfucker out on bond for shooting, malicious wounding, robbery, home invasion, all types of crazy shit. You can't say who the fuck wanted to kill that boy in that club. But she locked in on me for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? But that's all Mcternan testified to. But like I said, Mcternan testimony by itself impeach some of her testimony in regards to things that she said she saw, which he just impartial. He just going off the video. And that shows she was lying. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? So much so, when she said that gun was a foot or so away from him, but she couldn't see the color of it because it was too dark, but told the police it was ample light. They never gave me that statement, but she can say it won't dark enough for her to see across the dance floor to see a black and white bandana. Like, this shit's so fucked up, man. Now, at this point, the Commonwealth arrest their case. You know what I'm saying? After they called the medical exam, you know what I'm saying? It's time for my lawyer to present a case. He ain't called none of my witnesses. I asked him to get a continuance. He didn't do it. So I'm like, man, call the lead detective. And this was you ready to really get crazy. Like, you ready to see Detective Baines. You know what I'm saying? All right. Detective Jamie Baines, a witness call on behalf of the defense. First duly being sworn. You know what I'm saying? Good evening, Detective Baines. Good evening. Just to clear a few things up, you were and still the lead investigator on the Jaquel Cheatham homicide. Yes. You were pretty much responsible for coordinating everything relevant around the investigation and leading up to the arrest. Pretty much, yes, sir. And I guess sometimes there's stuff you have to do after the arrest as well, correct? Obviously, you were aware there was video in connection with this case. Yes, sir. Video footage, yes. Did you ever review that footage? I did not review it until I gave it to Ms. Miller, which is crazy because Ms. Miller wasn't initially on the case until weeks before they were supposed to let me go in April. You know what I'm saying? Which he had already gave to Davis Powell. This is like, after getting Miss Miller never called Detective Baines because, and I assumed that Baines wasn't ready to go with the lies that she was presenting. And I felt like if she called him, then something would have had to been asked on her behalf that would have, you know what I'm saying, been exculpatory to me, and she was covering the shit up. So they never called him, which was odd to me. The only motherfucker who coordinated everything in this investigation don't get called, but you call a Richmond police officer that had nothing whatsoever to do with the investigation to so-called identify me in video footage when I fucking conceded that this was me. You could have just told them this is Mr. Harvey. He don't object to this him. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Did you assign anyone to review it? No. You gave it to Ms. Miller. Then afterwards, she reviewed it. You sat down and reviewed it with her. Yes. So I'm assuming he ended up trying to track Sherelle whereabouts as they tracked me and realized that she left his dance floor and she's on the scene coming back on his dance floor one time after the murder happened, when she testified to leaving, coming, leaving, and coming again. And it's only one time she's shown coming. I never got to find the part where she left. They didn't ask her which area of the club you left off when you left. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure she'd have probably lied and said the same area that's not on camera. But who knows what this raw video gonna show? I never been able to see it. Even when I asked my lawyer after my trial, when I got the motion to set aside the verdict and they granted me a hearing, I'm asking him for to see the raw footage. That's when Bradshaw telling me about her being warned. It was so much shit coming out. This motherfucker O'Connor take Bradshaw off the case. Bradshaw bring me the transcript. What you ready to see? This sidebar. This shit ready to get crazy. Did you assign one reviewer? No. You gave it to Ms. Miller. You reviewed it? Yes. Obviously, at that point, when you are reviewing it, the purpose of reviewing it is to look for Travell Harvey. Yes. To find if we see more of what happened at the scene and confirm. See the suspect that your one eyewitness gave you. That's correct. Is it fair to say that other than Travell Harvey, you really weren't looking at anybody else in that video? Correct. That's not an impartial investigation. You weren't trying to pinpoint what other people were doing. We were just, he can't even answer. Correct. I mean, right from the beginning when you interviewed my client, and just so that we can establish that he waived his Miranda right. He agreed to speak with you, yes. Agreed to give you his DNA. I believe he did, yes. So he answered your question. He did. Some were dishonest, correct. But he sat there and talked to you, yes. One of the things that came up was actually the name Cal Space of 40 Cal, right? That came up. I can't remember who brought it up. I believe he brought it up. I can't remember. I didn't bring it up. I have to see a transcript. Would it be fair to say that you actually asked him if he came to the club with 40 Cal? If you get a transcript to say exact, I remember that name coming up, yes. I appreciate you not making me did. He did, and they tried to make him out a liar because he asked me who I came to the club with. I said, nobody. He said, so you didn't come to the club with Cal Space? I'm like, no. He showed the picture. No, I seen him walking in the club. As you see, I hand him the black. That nigga ain't come with me. I don't know. Don't ask me nothing about nobody else. I can't only tell you about my whereabouts. And I came by myself and left by myself. So they trying to say I lied because you can see, like I said, this nigga in my ass like a wedgie. He just there. It's other people running out that door with me too. The motherfuckers ain't getting in the car with me. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you not making me dig through it. Sure. Even at that point, he was someone of interest. Who Cal Space as involved in the murder? Yes. He would be more of an associate of Mr. Harvey, where so much so that you took the time to see Cal Space at the Richmond City Jail to interview him about that incident. That's correct. And Cal Space told you what? Cal Space said he was not there at the club that night. We all know that to be a lie at this point, correct? Let me ask you something else. I'm going to show you an email, and it has been redacted. It was given to me redacted because it's from a female officer, I believe, Trishana Chastain. Mr. Powell is the nigga that gave us the email. Judge, could we see that first, please? Mr. O'Connor, I apologize. All right, this way it get crazy. Note whereupon a sidebar was held outside of the hearing of the jury as follows, which they had an argument in front of the judge. That shit not even in my transcripts. Was crazy. These transcripts missing some shit. But I'm going to get the recorded version. I'm going to be able to hear it. Mr. O'Connor, this is an email from the female, the victim's sister, who testified. She said she spoke to an officer that night. Identified a female officer. That is that officer. That officer sent that email to this detective. The detective's still on the stand. We are in the position that statement in that email is inconsistent with what she testified to. We are just assuming it was her. I think after she made the inconsistent statement on the stand, that should have been given to us as a part of Brady. The court stepped back in the jury room. Now they didn't went all the way to the back. The judge don't, you know what I'm saying? She getting blurred. Okay. Whereupon the jury returns to the jury room and the proceedings continue outside of the presence of the jury in a sidebar conference as follows. Mr. O'Connor, I would tell the court that the highlighted portion, now they're showing him the unredacted portions are the black portions. We have copies of that. What was turned over, at least what I got, the court. You got it, Mr. O'Connor. I got it from Mr. Powell, I believe. Mr. Powell. I'll tell the court, I did provide this to defense counsel. I want to point out the name of the person who wrote this entire thing to Detective Baines isn't here. It's not. They put is in here. They said she isn't here. If defense wanted to subpoena Officer Gill, that certainly could have been their prerogative. So they basically saying we can't question the detective about it because the lady who wrote it to him is not there to testify to it. And if we wanted to question her about it, my lawyer should have subpoenaed her. But they already had her on their witness list. They excused her that morning and told her she didn't have to stay. They won't be calling her. So my lawyer thinking that he was going to get the cross-examiner and instead of doing his due diligence and subpoena her himself, you know what I'm saying? I don't see this as being inconsistent with what she testified to. This says, and I read it for the record, it says that At that point, I made sure to keep people away from the victim and the immediate crime scene. I spoke briefly with, and it is redacted there. And I would stipulate that that was Sherelle Cheatham, the victim's sister. She said she saw who shot, but she would not say who. She was distraught and a bit uncooperative. I think, Judge, I don't remember ever the defense asking exactly did you say whose name it was to Officer Gill. I don't think they ever asked that. They could have. It doesn't say that she refused to give. The officer didn't ask her or she didn't give her name. Later that night, she spoke with the detective and she said that that is what she said and when she spoke with the detective. Mr. Bradshaw, this is my lawyer's law partner. Surely she can testify today that basically she does speak with the police. She didn't specify who it was. She said it was a female consistent with Officer Gill. She said at that point I didn't disclose to her who I saw. I was able to provide from the internet, Facebook, a picture and that name. Now this is the bitch Tracy Miller, the Commonwealth. She didn't say specifically that she gave it to that officer, Bradshaw. She said it was to a different officer. She did, a man. He said he was familiar with me. This is what Tracy Miller said. No, that it was later she did. Then what did she say in the terms of what she told that officer? Then she said she provided a name that evening before she met Detective Baines. Miss Miller, she said she remembered talking to a female officer. This is the judge. Bradshaw, she provided the picture, not at that time to that officer. She said that she provided the picture from Facebook to another officer. The court, she got the picture from Facebook. Miss Miller, it's not inconsistent. This is what the judge said. I don't think it is inconsistent. But he gives my lawyer, he says, she is here, meaning Sherelle. You can call her back and then ask her. Which she did say everything that my lawyers, that Bradshaw saying she's saying, and it's a lie. And they saying she never said it, which I already showed she did say it. So the judge gave permission to recall Sherelle as a witness to impeach her. My lawyer got the opportunity to do so. I'm going to show you what he did. O'Connor said it was inconsistent with what she said, which he was right. The court objection is overruled. So we can't continue questioning him about this because he objected. You know what I'm saying? Like, bring in the juror. Whereupon the juror returns to the juror box, proceeds to continue open court. The record should reflect all 13 jurors are retired. Commonwealth waived the poll. Yes, sir. The defense, yes. Nothing additional. Thank you, Detective Baines. Mr. Powell, no cross-examination for the detective. They don't even cross-examine him. The court, let me ask you to stay for a little bit. That's to the detective. Next witness, Mr. O'Connor. Defense rests. The court rebuttal. This nigga rests my case, y'all. You got permission to call the witness back. You just argued that she testified inconsistently. You got proof that she testified inconsistently. Once you get her back on the stand and reiterate the fact that she told you she identified me to a male officer who said he was familiar with me, she showed him my picture, and the male officer entered the club with this female officer. These male officers, too, who testified at court could have been recalled, and the other one who wasn't there sent the email could have been recalled. None of them said anything about me being identified as a shooter, nor her showing me a picture, or that they was familiar with me, and the only person that was there, this officer, should have been recalled, which I asked him to ask for a recess. I never knew this what was said in that sidebar. He come back and tell me, he like, man, if you found guilty, this is gonna get you back in court. This is a Brady violation. They just stipulated this is her and this and that, which I pretty much assume out their testimony. I'm the one that's telling Bradshaw, man, this got to be her in his email. Ask him about this. You know what I'm saying? He write it down and call John back to the table, give him the email. That's when John go to try to question Baines with the Jane. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, if they find me guilty, what the fuck you mean they find me guilty? This bitch lying. Like, you need, you know what I'm saying? So he rest the case, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? August motion to strike, which was some bullshit. They found me guilty of this shit. You know what I'm saying? But immediately after they found me guilty, my lawyer verbally, you know what I'm saying,